Hey, welcome back, y'all. We are out here once again doing a little work on the car. Got a few things done off camera that I'm going to show you, and then we'll get into it. So, okay, first things first. I finished wiring in the or I guess it'd be the driver's side injector connectors. So got them finished up. I also extended the map sensor wiring. It used to be right about here. Oh, guess I gotta show you. It used to be right about here, so I had to extend it, from right about here up to there, because obviously the map sensor's been moved. So I also wanted to show you, if you guys are doing any kind of wiring harness, repair or changing it up any, this Tessa tape is really nice. It makes the harness look super clean. It keeps the wires nice and tight, packed. I bought a roll like a month ago and it finally showed up. I don't know where it came from, Indonesia or some stuff like that. I can't remember exactly where, but it finally got here. And it's like a nice kind of soft fabric tape. It's supposed to hold up to the heat well, and it looks good. So this is something to check out. It's Tessa, T-E-S-A. You can find it all over the internet. And then I'll go ahead and show you. Still need to get the vacuum cleaner and suck out them shavings, but so I got the ScottRod rear seat delete. I gotta clean up the shavings from drilling the holes for the rivets, but thing looks pretty sharp, man. I like it. Let's see if I can get you a little light back there. Super clean, a pain in the ass to install. Wasn't fun at all, wasn't easy. But once you get it all in there and get it all riveted together, all four pieces, she's pretty solid. So I had to obviously cut the holes, modify it to fit around my roll bar. So if you have a roll cage going through the back seat like mine, you'll have to modify. If you have one that goes up through the package tray, then you'll be fine. You don't have to do any modifications to it. I like it. It gives it a nice finished look. It's nice and clean. And then if you need to mount anything back there, you can. So it's pretty nice setup. I like it. So yeah, and that ScottRod stuff, if you guys are gonna order one, make sure you get it in, because they're back ordered for a while. I think it took like just shy of a month, almost 4 weeks to get it. But like I said, it's really well made. It looks really good. That's the matte black. They offer it in regular aluminum, not painted, just aluminum color. Matte black, and they do a gloss black too, I believe. If you get just the aluminum color, I think it's $220, $225, then plus shipping. If you get the matte black or the gloss black, it's like $250. It's kind of expensive, but there's nobody else out there making an aluminum rear seat delete. You can get the plastic ones or the wood ones, for a little less money, but this is a super nice kit. And I guess they do actually make it right there. They were waiting on material to make them, so that's why they're back ordered. But I highly recommend it. Like I said, it's a pain in the ass to install. You're trying to drill these holes and get them all lined up and get rivets in them to hold it all in there, and it's just it's a pain in the ass. But it's in there, installed. So we're legit now with the firewall between the fuel tank and the driver's compartment. So we're all good there. Little update on the manual brake conversion. Ford used a couple weird fittings on these. So if you look down here, these three lines are where the brake proportioning valve, the stock one, used to be. Okay, the top line that's facing down goes to the driver's side front wheel. And then these two, one goes to the passenger side front wheel, and the other line goes to the back and splits off at the back axle for the rear brakes. I figured, being an American car, these would be standard 3/8 24 for 3/16 brake line, standard American fitting. Well, they're not. They're metric. And they're a hard to find metric if you're trying to go from the brake line to a -3 fitting for stainless steel hose, which I am. It's hard to find these fittings. So these two right here, so the right front wheel and then the back brake line, are a M10 by 1 thread pitch. And then this one for the left front is an M12 by 1 thread pitch bubble flare. All three of these are bubble flares. So there's a difference. You know, normal brake line are inverted flare, but these are a bubble flare. So guys, if you're gonna get a fitting for these, make sure it's M10 by 1.0 bubble flare. They make them for inverted flare and bubble flare. There's a difference. If you mix them up, the fittings will leak, guaranteed. So make sure that you get bubble flare for these. Older Mustangs used, you know, SAE sizing, American sizing, but these later model ones, you know, everything on them is metric anymore. So I should have known better, and I should have measured these before just assuming. But I got the correct fittings coming. They were super hard to find. I found the correct bubble flare fittings to -3 lines from Pegasus Auto, which is like a racing supplier online. You can Google them, you'll find them. They got a ton of hard to find brake line fittings. So if you need any kind of fitting that's hard to find, check there, because they'll more than likely have it. And everything they have in stock. If they have it listed on their website, it's in stock. You know, they get shit out to you fast at a relatively good price. So check them out if you need any kind of fittings that are oddball that you can't find anywhere else. But what I was going to say is I got the fittings ordered, paid extra money for UPS second day shipping so I could get them installed and get that finished up. And my order, you know, I live in the Midwest in Michigan, so a lot of my orders, depending on where they come from, have to go through Chicago. They go through, you know, if it's the post office, it goes through the Chicago hub. UPS does too. FedEx doesn't seem to. But anyways, so it came into Chicago, and then on the tracking it says, due to civil demonstrations, your package has been delayed. We will something like, we will reschedule delivery at a later date, and that's all it says. So who knows how long it's going to be sitting in Detroit because of the rioting and bullshit they got going on there. So, you know, I don't know. And like I said, it's a fitting that I couldn't find anywhere else, so it's not like I could just, you know, order one from Summit and be done. I spent a long time trying to find them fittings, and I was finally able to find one. So I don't know. Hopefully it'll get here soon enough, and it won't hold us up too bad. Because I got other stuff I can do, but I'd like to have that fitting so I can finish up the brake line and get the damn system sealed up. Because right now I just got it plugged, and, you know, hate to leave it open for moisture and shit to get in there. Here's a list. I've started, as you can see, crossing some stuff off the list, which is nice. But we still got a ton of stuff to do. The stuff that's taking the most time, guys, is the wiring. Like I said, I had to extend a lot of sensors because they moved around with the new intake and new position of the fuel rails and new injectors and all that shit. And by moving the fuse panel and all the relays into the inside of the car, you know, I obviously had to change up a lot of wiring to do that. So that just takes time, and I hate wiring, like I've said, you know, many times before. So it's just a slow process for me with wiring, but we'll get it done. At this point, I need to, behind my daughter's bike there is the passenger side turbo. I need to get that up here, take the compressor cover off of it, and get it painted along with the turbine housing. Get that painted black with the high temp paint and make them look good. So before, you've probably seen what the turbine housing got all rusty colored and didn't look very good. The compressor housing is aluminum, so it's not going to rust or anything, but it still looks better with some paint on it, I think. So I need to do that. So once I get that painted, I can install that on the passenger side and get the turbo finished up. Then I can get the fans in there, and, you know, then we'll be getting that much closer. I ordered the pipe that I need to make a new boost pipe from there up to the intake. That'll hopefully be here, I think it's Monday. Shipping on parts, man, is just, at this time, is just taking forever, and it's slowing stuff down a lot. It's unfortunate. You don't realize how good you got it when everything shows up in 2 days, and then, you know, the COVID shit hits, and next thing you know, it's taking 10 days for something to come. And or even longer in some cases. So, but you know, it's just a kind of tell of the time currently. So hopefully things go back to normal soon. Yeah, guys. So that's kind of where we're at. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started on some stuff. Probably continue to do a little bit of wiring, and then I'm gonna do the turbo and I'm gonna get that painted. So actually, I'm gonna do that first. I'm gonna go ahead and get the turbo ready to paint, and then we'll come back. All right, we got the compressor cover taped up and painted. I used just the same color that I used on the other turbo for the compressor cover, that hammer tone color that I showed you in the other videos. Use that, and I got the center housing and the turbine housing outside on the deck there, and I just painted that black with some high temp, you know, black barbecue paint basically. So that's drying out back. I came back in after I painted this, or I was outside painting that other turbine housing. I come back in, and it never fails. Anytime you paint something, there will always be at least one bug that lands on it. I come back and there's a big old, I don't know, moth looking thing with like 8 long legs, and he was stuck to it. So I pulled him off, and of course that pulled all 8 of his legs off in the paint, so I had to go in there and pick each leg off individually, but whatever. What are you gonna do? So I'm gonna let them cure. It's pretty warm today. It was in the 90s earlier today. It's not quite that warm now. It's cooled down to, I don't know, 73 or so, looks like. So it shouldn't take very long for them to cure enough for me to handle them and put it back together. I may or may not let it sit overnight. It just depends on if it still is tacky when I want to go ahead and put it together. So I may leave it hanging and do that tomorrow, and then get on to something else while them are drying. So, but I'll come back once I decide what I'm gonna do. All right, y'all. I got the map sensor extended and finished up, wired in, plugged in. Yeah, I got the this right here is the extension for the TPS sensor, the new TPS sensor, because I'm running an old school 5-liter throttle body, so it needs a 5-liter TPS sensor, and it's different than what I had. So that's the style TPS sensor that I needed, so I got that installed and I got it wired in. It came with a different connector end for like 5-liter Mustangs, which obviously I don't have, so I just cut that connector off of the new TPS sensor and wired in my own connector. I bought a bag of connectors and I just wired that in that way. So that's finished up. I think the next one I got to do is I got to extend the idle air control valve wiring. I'm trying to think where it's at. I believe it's right here. See, I got it marked. Yep, IAC, idle air control valve. So that's that. I gotta go ahead and get that extended. So I'll cut it somewhere in here, extend the wires out, and splice it back in to plug in on this guy right here. So that's the next step. Let's check our turbo, see how. Let's get a touch on it. Yeah, it's a little tacky in a couple spots, but not too bad. I could definitely install that. I still got to drill. There's another bug. At least he's not on the actual paint. Oh, he flew away. Damn, I got to close these doors. It's nice because there's a nice breeze coming through here, but man, I keep it open and all the damn bugs get in. But yeah, so I still need to drill the 1/8 inch MPT and tap it for the the push lock hose fitting, and then after that I could put it back together and put it install that turbo on the car. So I probably won't get that tonight, guys, but it's already getting pretty late. But I'll probably go ahead and finish up with that wiring on that IX sensor. I think once I got that done, I'm done with as far as having to add any wiring for this. I still got to wire in the 2 solenoids, which that's no big deal. The wiring's already there. I just gotta splice in the new solenoids. But we're coming along, guys. Yeah, I'll give you another little look at this ScottRod rear seat delete. Let's see if I can sneak you in behind it. Let's get you some light in there, maybe. So like I said, I gotta vacuum up the shavings from drilling for the rivets, but yeah guys, I think it turned out pretty good. Cleans up the back seat really nice, makes it look good. So I think it turned out pretty good. So yeah, if you guys are interested in one of them, go check out ScottRod. Alright guys, so I'm gonna call it a night. I appreciate you guys tuning in on this video. I try to keep it as interesting as I can, but wiring and crap like that is kind of monotonous, so kind of gets boring to watch after a while. So, but I appreciate you guys sticking with me, and man, we were just getting close to firing this thing up, and I'm excited for that day, because once we get it running, you know what that means, going to the track and hammering this thing down a quarter mile. So like I said, just gonna stick at it, put my head down, keep on working, and before we know it, man, we'll be running and having some fun. So like I said, I appreciate you watching. Stay tuned. I'll be back out here tomorrow night, more than likely, to keep on knocking out things off the list, and we'll get another video put out for you guys. So I appreciate it, guys. If anyone of you guys haven't subscribed or whatever, I appreciate if you can subscribe. Just get my numbers bumped up a little bit. Any comments, I'll try to respond to all of them if I see them. Sometimes they don't pop up for me. I have to go look for them to make sure there aren't any outstanding comments that I haven't read and tried to respond to. But I appreciate that, likes, all that stuff. So we'll see you guys on the next one. Have fun, get your project done too. See ya.